Welcome to Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. If you or a loved one has suffered a tragic crash, get the firm with the most board-certified and trucking accident law attorneys, nationally renowned and located in Wyoming, Colorado, and Montana. Call Grant Lawson and the law firm for truck safety. Well, a good start to March. We'll talk about some areas that picked up the most precipitation they've seen in, well, a couple of months over southern Wyoming in particular. Are the ladybugs out? Well, Michelle's not sure if that ladybug hitched a ride on some lumber or not, but there are certainly other signs of seasons changing out there for sure. Now, we've got a small but mighty little storm system today. It's the same system that triggered showers and thunderstorms yesterday afternoon and evening in many areas, and then has produced more rain and thunderstorm activity early today, especially in southern Wyoming and far northwest areas of Colorado and northeast Utah and western Nebraska. Now, we'll see this system move through, bringing some rain and snow, but in a small, compact area. We'll have a break in the weather Wednesday through a good part of Thursday. Wednesday and most of Thursday, it gets mild and spring-like again. But the next storm is bigger, stronger, colder for Friday. It will be covering a larger piece of real estate, and it will bring snow levels down to lower elevations. There'll be a break this weekend. Then another stronger push of Pacific air that's not only moist but will drag Canadian air with it could bring quite the change in our weather around Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So things are busy, finally. The bluebirds, yep, there's one. There's been a bluebird sighting in the Laramie Valley yesterday. A couple of males being spotted there by Paula. So there's another sign of changing seasons. I talked about thunderstorms. Well, the thunderstorms yesterday, I guess, really liked Interstate 80 from west of Elko to north of Kimball, a line of showers and thunderstorms. Not so much a line, but that's just where they wanted to form and go through their life cycle. The Rawlins, Wyoming area picked up just under an inch of rain and hail and a little bit of wet snow this morning. Almost an inch of precipitation as of the making of this video. That's a lot for the red edge of the Red Desert there. And we saw 0.4 of an inch of rain with one rain gauge in Wheatland and other areas in the Shirley Basin approaching a 1/2 inch, and really good precipitation in Sweetwater County over into Uinta there, in Uinta County around Evanston. Just really good to see. Now it's a narrow band, but we mentioned the thunderstorms. Great shot there from Jen of some cloud to ground lightning, although most of the lightning last night was cloud to cloud, and the heavy clouds look moist, don't they? That's what happens this time of year. There's a shot of the clouds building and the moon, and another lightning shot there by Brian as those thunderstorms rolled through, producing the rain and hail. And Kaylee picked up some lightning along the Interstate 80 corridor last night between Laramie and Cheyenne. We mentioned that Wheatland area finally getting some moisture in Platte and Goshen and Laramie counties that desperately need it. Nice shot there from California. Under some high pressure there along the west coast, but got a good shot of the moon. And from Cheyenne to Elko, some pretty sunrises and sunsets. And a lot of you probably have this look in your yard, your tulips and your daffodils wanting to poke through. But what you're going to see here in a moment, they're going to want to kind of stay there, not pop up much more as we go into next week. Another beautiful shot in Leadville of the snow on the mountains and the pink skies, and the geese enjoying the weather before the weather began to change a little bit. This is certainly good goose and duck weather for those folks, as the geese and the ducks enjoying the cooler, wet conditions in many areas. Now, the satellite photo really shows you how small this system is. Small but mighty, very moist. And there's the next one coming from the Gulf of Alaska. Now, if we review where this current system came from, this is the same low that split into two pieces, and that other piece sat back here and gathered moisture for several days before moving inland. So it was quite moist, but it's small. That's why the concentration of moisture will be in a small area today. But this guy packing a punch with much colder air with it and a larger, more organized storm system. You can really see that curl there right here in northwest Colorado with the low there this morning, and the nice curl in the Gulf of Alaska. So this is where we're going to be today with the small low going right down Interstate 80. This is where it's going to be tomorrow. So a little sliver of high pressure comes in for Wednesday and Thursday. But this system, unlike all weather systems that we've seen so far this season, is going to go down into the Great Basin and near the Four Corners. Through the next 24 hours, very compact area of moisture right along the low path. Again, it's a small area, but if you're in this area, you're going to pick up some badly needed precipitation with rain and snow. And watch that I-80 corridor today, because snow levels will be dropping down to maybe as low as 6,000 feet, and that could make for some slick conditions, especially over the higher elevations of Interstate 80. But this area desperately getting some badly needed moisture, and even into parts of northern Colorado, there's going to be some showers getting into the South Platte Valley. The next system will be a bit larger, and there's where the snow will likely fall with what's coming through today. There we go. Finally, a low near the Four Corners. Now, we talked yesterday that the system is going to split, and it will, but it's going to maintain itself for long enough here Thursday night into the day Friday to be a pretty good weather maker. We mentioned yesterday it's not going to become a cutoff low and become one of those 2 or 3 day spring storms that are so beneficial to the region, but we are hoping that this pattern will reemerge later this month and into April and May. A lot of times when you start to see patterns change, if you can get a pattern that sets up, you'll sometimes get it to repeat later on. So it's really important that this system is followed by other ones to kind of get a rhythm to it. And as long as we have this high pressure ridge in the eastern Pacific, that puts us in a good position for that to happen. So this system is going to be impactful. There's the split by Saturday morning, but the split is not as strong as what we showed you yesterday. And that's good, because that means the system will be a bit more productive. And there it is. We see a nice swath of rain and snow in this area right here. So there's going to be another round. This does not include what's happening now. So this is in addition to this next system coming in Thursday night through Friday. It's going to be a colder system, so snow levels will drop. And I think this looks pretty reasonable in terms of where wet spring snows will fall with the second system during the course of the day Friday. So travelers, be advised. Then next week, we've got another low diving in. I want you to notice, though, the trajectory of the air is more over the land and less over water, which means it's going to pick up continental Canadian air coming in behind it. That cutoff low gets kicked up ahead of it. That's likely going to produce rain and thunderstorms and maybe severe weather. In fact, severe weather next week is something that we'll need to watch for the central and southern plains of the U.S. because the air behind the system means business. Yeah, look at these temperature anomalies by next Wednesday. And those temperature anomalies will even extend into the following weekend. So there's more cold coming in behind it by next weekend. Also, this system right here has the ability to bring in a nice shot of Pacific moisture with it. So this is going to be a weather maker with rain and probably a good amount of snow for some locations. And for you folks in Montana and northern Wyoming, this is going to be your system. These first two systems not really affecting that area much, but next week I would expect that this system could be impactful for more of the northern areas, but we'll see this system drop its way south into the region. So that'll be the next system to talk about and watch and keep track of with the cold. Don't forget the regional travel forecast. It's going to become more important in the days ahead. We'll see you tomorrow.